Okay, my name is Justin. This is AI for the Masses, and I am live streaming my ongoing game development of my indie game, The Story of Someone. What is on today's task list for today, being very much saying today a lot? I want to take what I did on the last stream, and I'm going to try and test out how well I can integrate it into the main game. Because there's not much of a point of having made the fight arena, which is the thing I'm talking about from the last stream, if the main game can't use it. I try to compartmentalize different aspects of the game into subdirectories and have them be a scaffolding, more or less, like creating a skeleton for the the main game, and then the main game will grab those generated moments, especially all my procedurally generated stuff, like the dungeons and the towns and things. So hold on one second. I'm going to message somebody here. So this is going to be an experiment. This will be a pretty important experiment to see what kind of techniques that I can use for getting the sandbox into the main game. But one thing I need to do in order to be able to accomplish, like, initiating a fight, well, okay, I'm going to finish my statement, but I just realized that it's not necessary, is, well, I have to have an enemy in my dungeon that will trigger the fight. But no, we don't. We just need to have some sort of logic that will trigger a fight, and that could be me literally just pressing a button on the keyboard. So with that in mind, all I want to do is to be able to trigger a battle in the main game. Then the battle arena will pop up in the window of the game in some way. And it will happen while I'm in the dungeon. So let's give it a try. There's one thing I do want to do is I thought it would be kind of fun to just finish like drawing up some tiles here that I can use as art assets in my game. And also, it's another opportunity. Oops, I just made a mistake there. Another opportunity for me to talk about the pixel art maker. Well, program that I created with Gemini that gives me basically full control over how my pixel art program behaves. So I generated this program using vibe coding techniques to make it where I can make my pixel art assets, and give me 1 second here. Yeah, and then I'm just able to work on my art as needed. And I have my color palette. So I did some research, we'll call it studying. I did some studying about color theory. And lowspec.com is a very popular like program for finding color palettes, like browsing color palettes and things. So took a look at that, and I found the Dawnbringer 32 was a color palette that seemed pretty good for what I am imagining in my head. I don't want to have like a super moody game right off the bat when I don't completely know like my entire game's vibe. So I wanted a color palette that was somewhat, actually you can't see the color palette itself. Let me change. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So I've got my color palette here, and I want the entire game to have a standard reference color palette. And I'm still studying color theory, trying to understand best practices. It's my tentative understanding that I can adjust the hues and the saturations and things as needed to create different moods, and the game will still feel coherent as long as I'm sticking to these 32 colors and shift the entire palette all at once. I'm still not 100% confident that that is actually a true statement, and feel free to educate me in the comments if you feel like I'm kind of missing the mark here on the fundamentals of color theory and mood in a game. So I'm just gonna finish up like 2 more tiles. I'm not an artist. I'm far from an artist. I am very technical and scientific. So I'm just gonna finish creating some tiles here that are my attempt at creating some depth to the dungeon level. I'm trying to create bricks, trying to give some variety to these bricks, show some damage, and then I'll have them randomly thrown into the art or into the game. So while I'm doing that, I'll try to chat and talk while I'm doing this, but how about we put on a little mood music? Hopefully the volume is... So this is music that I hope to have in my game, and this is an opportunity for you to get a little preview as to the kind of mood and music and vibe that I'm trying to give to the story of someone. But let me just finish up a couple tiles here. So I'm just creating some damage. Let's see here. Gotta do the proper shading techniques, and a little tricky trying to make sure that I use the right colors. So I think, yeah, I'll add that there, and maybe a little bit of a crater effect. And then I paste it down here, and I can see a little bit better what's going on. I'm reasonably happy with that. Maybe create a bright edge there. Okay, yeah, I like that. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'll have another crack coming down. So let's see here. First, let's break this bright area. Throw a dark crack, and then put a light edge on there. How's that looking? Okay, not bad. I feel like the depth on it could be a little better. Hey, as anything, welcome to the stream. Having a little zen intro here. How's the volume contrast? Is my speaking over the music getting the job done? Is the music, can you hear the music? And then on the other side, is the music too loud where you can't understand me? So I'm just drawing some art because I want to have slightly different walls in my dungeon, and the goal of today is to try and bring my battle arena, the skeleton of it, into the game. So that way I don't fear that I might be wasting the time. Okay, let's see. So voice a little louder. I think I'm at maximum gain on my microphone. So let me give the music a little tweak down. So music could be a little quieter, or voice a little louder. Yeah, I think unless I like start doing this to the mic, I think that might be a bit excessive. So maybe I can change the angle like directly at my mouth a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Let me know if that's a little bit better. But also the volume of different songs is different. So like this one's like this one, but this one gets a little intense later. So, all right, thanks. Sounds good. Thanks. All right. And as anything, by the way, these are songs that I plan on having in the game. So all AI generated music. Whether or not the AI generated versions of these songs end up in the game is still up in the air. I do feel like the quality of the AI generated music is a real roll of the dice. Some of my songs, I really like their melodies and things, but then there could be like some distortion, or I kind of wish that the there was a little bit more punch to a particular instrument or something. So as I get further along into this project and maybe possibly have some funding to back it up, I hope to hire a composer to remaster some of these songs, make their own versions, their own feel to it. But at least I'll have placeholder music in the meantime to try and understand what kind of a vibe I'm trying to create. So all of these songs are potential songs for the game. And I don't plan on adding music to the game even in this stage until there's a little bit more visual feel and a bit more gameplay. So that way I'm not just playing music to squares running around on a grid. But I'm using it as mood music for now. And I think I'm just gonna do one more tile here. Try to create some weathering and things to these bricks. Trying to use lighting effects to create depth. Let's see here. How's that looking? I don't like that dark. One more here. Yeah, that'll work for now. And then let me create some sort of a broken crack there. I think I need... Yeah, okay. And then I want to have some damage across the top a little bit here, so maybe there, and a new lit edge. I'm gonna go a little deeper. Yeah, so I don't remember as anything if you had come in when I was introducing this pixel art making program that I generated with Gemini. I didn't want to have to deal with the learning curve of learning a already made program for drawing art, and I also am not an artist, so I felt like it was an opportunity for me to study color theory in anticipation for needing to actually draw. So why not make the program myself? And that's what this is. This is my own generated pixel art maker. And I studied some color theory concepts, and I decided on a color palette that someone had pre-made. Yeah, I did make the art program. Yeah, and I imported this color palette based on its hex code values from a website called LowSpec. It's all open source. People just submit color palettes, and I had ChatGPT analyze the color palettes, create the hex code, import the values, and it even analyzed why. So ChatGPT analyzed why the person who made this color palette picked the colors they did, and then organized them for me based on categories. So this is a two-dimensional grid of the 32 colors that I plan on using in the game, explaining why they've been chosen as far as their categories in brightness and saturation, and then what their purpose generally is, or what their hue values are. So like vegetation will be the second row, skin tones, dirt, wood will be this first column. The third column will be like water, sky, maybe, and then some of the highlighted high saturated stuff will be for flowers. The low saturation stuff and then the low brightness things will tend to be like background, because you want the background to be more muted, and you want things that you care about, items that you want to find, characters that you want to see to be more bright. I've been like every day I'm just like consuming as much information about all these best practices of game generation and things. And so as I got deeper and deeper into it, I decided like, I'm just going to make my own program. The first version of this program is actually this one, and I kind of keep it in my back pocket, where I can choose on a color wheel, and then I can make the analog values. So you can see how if I move around on the color wheel, then I know these dots might be kind of small, I get the different colors, but then I have color patterns like complementary, split complementary, and so this is just all terms that are known in the art world, and I can adjust them, and then I can go and I can change the brightness of colors in this direction. So at first I thought this is a pretty sound idea, and this first version of the art program took me 3 hours, just 3 hours to make my own pixel art making program from scratch. It's just insane. So then weeks passed and I learned more about color theory, and I realized this isn't quite doing it. And then I learned about color palettes and how you can if you restrict your color palette a lot, you can kind of enhance your creativity and keep the style of your game consistent. So my goal is to use only these 32 colors in the game. Yeah, very cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a crazy time that we live in. So let's see here. I'm going to copy this one. I'm not going to put too much effort into this last one. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to leave it plain. Well, let me put a little bit of damage. Let's just have a tiny bit. I'll try not to be impatient here. Maybe a little bit of a crack here. And then maybe another. Let's see. How's that looking? Yeah, that's not bad. Maybe I could add a little bit more there. Okay, I don't mind that. And then let's see. Okay, if that's going to be cracked, then I'm going to add some depth there. Actually, let's keep going. Yeah. Not my best work, but let's see. Can I clean this up? Can I make this look a little bit better? Try not to overthink things. You know, I'm just gonna chip. This whole brick is just gonna like have lost an entire corner. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm gonna stick with that. So let's make this a sprite sheet. And then, so I have my 4 tiles, and then I can export the whole sheet. So we'll go dungeon, wall, gray. And then export this sheet. And is this where I want a building generator sandbox? No, I want this in my dungeon generator sandbox. Oh, no, I want it in the main assets. That's right. So I already have dungeon tiles, but I'm going to have dungeon wall gray. And I'll refer to that in the new version. In fact, let's see. AI has changed the entire approach to programming. Not sure how to create art. Just create your own art creating program. In 3 hours to make this is time well spent. I agree. I mean, again, it was just one of those like personal challenges that I decided to take on, and it worked. And with all of my streams, I kind of tried to introduce this as like, all of this is just like my personal challenge. And can I vibe code an entire indie game without writing any code? Not because I should, not not because like I don't have the skills to write any code. It's just like, can it be done? Is that where we are now? And so far, I have not had the answer be no. So I just keep going. Making the game has become the game. Yeah, yeah. And I would say that a lot of people think that making a game it has always been the game, but this is definitely a whole nother world, a whole nother version of that game. Um, and I mean, you've brought up that. What was your theme today? Your theme was be the early majority. So as anything just finished his stream, go check it out. It's available now. And his theme of the day was the early majority. One thing that I have noticed is as my YouTube algorithm is pushing more and more game dev stuff on me because I'm requesting it, I still don't see anybody who's vibe coding. Everybody is still sticking to the status quo, using game engines and I watch the streams, and this is not a criticism. I mean, this is just an observation. I hope that it doesn't come off as some sort of like negative opinion I have that it's so slow by comparison. I'll watch someone do like a 2-hour stream and they wrote like 30 lines. They spent the whole time like trying to just change the how a switch activates a room in their level, and that you hear people talk about how making a game can take you 3, 4, 5 years to make a good game. I'm like, I don't think that's true anymore. I think if you know what you're doing, which I don't claim to know what I'm doing, I'm making this up as I go along. I've never made an indie game, but I think I could get 5 years worth of work done in less than a year with this technique. And I think I've already done what would have taken me a whole year easily. How far I've gotten so far would have taken me an entire year, and I've done it in 2 months. I've been working on this game about 2 months. So I'm just going to keep going until finally like a token limit gets in my way, or the code base is just too big and Gemini can't handle it. But I have a feeling that I would have to move at such a high speed for the advancements in AI to not keep up with what I'm asking of the AI that I don't think I'm going to have a problem. So I think if wherever I could be a year from now, if I was there today, I think Gemini would have a hard time, would struggle at some point in that process. But I think because of where I am today, I think like Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, I think they're just going to keep getting better in ways that matter for our kind of usage. And I don't think we're gonna hit a wall as far as us being able to take advantage of this tool. So I exported. And then, yeah, just to kind of go back on as anything, it's like, I know, right? No one is doing this. Yeah, it really, I think it shows two things. And I think you and I are biased, but that's okay that we're biased. But I think it shows two things. It shows that not very many people are actually doing it, and that the people who are actually doing it are moving so fast they don't feel like it's worth their time to like make YouTube videos about it. So they're just like, I'm gonna go make millions of dollars. Like, I'm not gonna bother with YouTube. I'm gonna go finish this software and go sell it. So they're like, that's my suspicion. But anyway, like I am not as advanced of a coder. I'm not a developer. So this thing is just super powering me, and I'm learning a lot in the process. I figure I might as well document it, share what I learn, and see who can benefit from it. See what he says. I think AI has approximately halved my development time. Yeah, probably. I would not be shocked at all. My stream today was a good example of adding a complex full stack feature in under 2 hours. Yes, I was really impressed with how you took so many ideas. I think you had like 26 lines, if I remember the count, of different ideas that you were asking the AI to do, kind of like all at once, like in one prompt, right? Like you had it very well organized. Where you're like this, then that, and over here adjust this thing, and then add this thing into this spot. You were like super specific, but it was still so many different things that it was giving me anxiety, because I know how I've tried to like do like a massive prompt like that, and then it just falls apart. But so you approached it from a very systematic, highly organized perspective, is what I interpreted. And mine is a bit less organized in the prompt generation, and then I added that sentence at the end. Now, show me your plan of how you want to do this step by step, AI. And then it organized everything for me. And then I said, okay, now that you have this 6-step plan, do step 1. And I did that last night on my other stream too. And boy, did that really feel like that changed the game. So, yeah, I think it's very interesting for the two of us to see each other's workflows like this, because I mean, there's no instruction manual for how to do this right now. We are making the instruction manual. That's a good point. If people are doing what we're doing, they're making money. I hope that I'll do that via streaming. Yeah, right? Yeah, because you've got your business and you're streaming the development of an app that is going to help you with your business. And then hopefully people can get value from, I mean, I'm getting value from watching your streams. And then they'll also realize that you can help them. Yep, one shot. You're referring to your massive prompt. Yeah, the step-by-step is key. I just need to do that manually for my use case. Yeah, right, which isn't bad. Because you're like, in your head, it looks like you're staying much more lower level in your understanding of what how your code is doing what it's doing. And I'm, in my experience with my own code, and very high level. Even though I'm thinking about mid-level about how to do stuff, I don't really vet the code all that much. I kind of see how the AI is interpreting it, and I'll like read the methods a little bit. I'll kind of gloss over it, but I've gotten like started to get kind of super lazy about this whole process, and sometimes I just don't even look at all. And it keeps working. And then when it doesn't work, I still kind of that I feel like it's like it doesn't work. So then I just kind of like look at why, and I just try to learn from why it doesn't work. And it's one of those like fail quickly, fail often kind of philosophies, especially when it comes to engineering and innovation in general. And so I don't really mind if it kind of derails a little bit, as long as I do good version control. And the small part of me, because I can end up producing like 1,000 lines of code, create 10 new files, and all these different methods, and then it breaks, and I can do all that in less than an hour, and then learn from it. And then be like, oh, okay, maybe I'm approaching this from the completely wrong angle. And then an hour later, I try a new way and it works. I mean, is that really a waste of time? I don't think so. That's an interesting insight. Your code base is lower level, but your prompting is higher level. Mine is the opposite. Yeah, higher and lower level abstraction. So that is, so we're speaking the same language when you're talking about abstraction. Because like again, I'm not a developer. I've never worked with a team of coders on like hardly anything, and so I don't really get too much opportunity to interact with the terminology. I just pretty much understand high and low level, thinking and high and low level interaction with your project. But that abstraction word was kind of confusing to me for a little bit, and I had to go ask the AI to define those terms for me and give me examples and stuff. So, okay. Well, I think I'm done with this. And it's time to pivot over to, so I'm going to close my pixel art program. I am going to get, as anything, if I've got your attention, which it looks like I do, why don't I show you how the battle arena works, and then I'll integrate it over. So I made a whole bunch of new, so my character can level up, it gets experience points. There's waves of enemies. I figured like making waves of the same enemy and just increasing the number of them was a good way to get a feel for the, do you, as anything, do you find that as your code base gets bigger and bigger, that like the terminal takes longer to like boot up or anything? Because I feel like this is kind of strange that it's like not getting to my root directory right away. And this is by far the biggest piece of software I've ever created. So my experience working at this scale is near zero. But like, I don't understand why it's not popping up. Gonna have to consult the AI here in a minute. But come on. Yeah, I can't type anything. I wonder if I just need to start VS Code over. I'm just gonna do that. So anyway, looks like we got somebody new in the stream. If you're curious about what it is I'm working on, let me know. I am working on an indie game called The Story of Someone, and I'm about to show my fighting sandbox that I use to like test out whether or not my fighting mechanics of my role-playing game are behaving well. So let's see here. Okay. Oh, the tabs. Okay, yeah. I get kind of like carried away. I don't close all the tabs. Is there a close all button somewhere here? Yeah, close all. All right. Thank you. Oops, I accidentally committed. Looks like did it matter? I mean, it was just the last thing that I did anyway, but I'm committing in a subdirectory that doesn't, I don't think it has a git. So let's see. Hopefully that didn't, no changes added to commit. Yeah, okay. I looks like it's fine. And let me know if I messed up there in my commit, but I think it's okay. All right, let's go ahead and run this. So the battle arena is relatively simple. There's no art assets yet. So the green, or sorry, like kind of the blue purplish box is the player, and the red circle is a slime. And I can attack, defend, and move. And the slime already has a very basic AI for attacking me. It just basically moves towards me and attacks. I don't want to go too deep on creating state machines for the AI just yet, because I just don't find it to be necessary at this stage. I just want to get the scaffolding laid. So if anybody's ever played Final Fantasy VII, you might recognize the speed bars. Let me change. I think you can see a little bit better here. And also there's terminal output, so you can kind of watch the terminal. I'm going to go ahead and move towards the slime. Okay, and then I get to attack, so I'm going to be attacking. And the attack has a little bit of a percentage probability of being full attack or not. So it looks like I had 100%. I succeeded at hitting for 100%, and my attack. It attacked me. So I succeeded, and I damaged for 5. So that's why the creature's hit points are 5 out of 10. But then the creature immediately got to have its attack. I do plan on there's going to be animations later, so you can see what's happening, and there'll be a little bit of a delay. This is purely just trying to get the logic to work. And then I want to import this to the main game, and that's where I'll add in like the delays and things, and the graphics and the animations. So let's just keep going here. I'm going to go ahead and just do this battle. And okay, so Slime's dead because it only had 10 hit points, and I hit for 5 twice. Oh, what you got here? Adds anything. Regarding abstraction, the closer the code is to the hardware, the lower the abstraction. So a framework is higher abstraction because it's taking care of some of the things for. Got it. Yes, I do remember having that explained to me in that way a little bit. Thanks for adding that, refreshing that nuance of my understanding a little bit. Okay, so now notice one thing. So the bottom left, I have a blue bar that is experience points, and every slime is worth 50 experience points. So the next slime I kill, I'll level up. And then the yellow bar, I can take the next move. Now, when I move, it's not going to use up the entire bar. It only uses up 25%. And then if I defend, it only uses half. But if I attack, which is what I'm going to do, then it'll use all of the bar. So this gives them an opportunity to possibly get a move in. And then I'll attack again. Hopefully it'll kill this slime. Okay, it did. And now I have leveled up because each slime is worth 50, and I need 100 experience points to go from level 1 to level 2. And then there is a scaling factor. So now, to get from level 2 to level 3, I need 150 experience points. I know the text is small, and sorry, this is all a prototype. But it's there now. I have 0 out of 150. But when I level, I get to add to one of my stats. So pretty standard RPG concept of leveling systems, stat upgrades. So I can choose between hit points. I can add 5 hit points. I can add to my attack, defense, or speed. I find speed is... I made the speed very low because I did want the speed to be affected a lot in the beginning of the game. I want the leveling system to feel progressive and fast. As anything, thanks. This is nuts. When... like how much it's improved in just 48 hours, right? It's just, this is just so quick. I'm assuming that's what you mean, is just the speed of the progress. So I'm gonna add to speed. So now my speed is 5. So I'll get to take turns a lot faster now. The slime did get to me and it attacked me. So if you look down the terminal, it says creature 1 performs attack on player. Can I highlight? Yeah. And it has 100% success on landing its attack, meaning it has an attack of 3 and it landed 3. And then, and I wasn't defending. So if I defend, then my defense has a chance of taking 3 points off the attack that is dealt to me. And then it shows my hit points. So also I heal a little bit with every leveling. All right, I think you're getting the idea. So let's go ahead and just finish this battle. It is, I won't live forever. I do have a little bit of balance going on here that it does get eventually too hard for me to survive. So let's enjoy that. One thing I've noticed is I don't really use the defense much. Okay, I'm gonna attack, and I feel like that's a flaw. I want this game to have some strategy, but I think I need to add more features. Okay, I'm gonna let them move to me, so I'm just gonna move 1 square over. Okay, now I get to attack them next. So see, I am using a little bit of tactics here. Okay, I'm down to 16 hit points. They both attacked me. Let's get rid of one of them. I only hit for 3 instead of 5. So every once in a while, there's a little bit of a chance of not hitting for a full attack. And you can rarely miss. Okay, killed that one. Oh, and I get to level. So not only when I level do I get to upgrade a stat, but I also heal half of whatever my max hit points are. Oh, let's see. As Anthony said, abstraction and prompting is more related to how specific you are about the code itself. Should be implemented. Oh, how specific you are about how the code itself should be implemented. Your approach is higher level because your requests are more broad and general. Yeah, I agree. And to me, that's fun. I don't mind that at all. That's just how my brain likes to be involved in things. I feel like I am a DIYer on a lot of stuff in my life. And then there's the management side of me where I just kind of want to orchestrate. And when it comes to this kind of stuff, these AI tools are exactly the thing I've been wanting for a long time. I'm going to upgrade my attack. Yeah. Oops. Okay. So see, it healed me. So now I'm at 22 hit points again. Let's go ahead and attack. Okay, I hit for 6. They hit me. Now I'm at 19. I'm going to attack. And it's dead. So now another wave is coming up. Yeah, I think your approach is ideal for this use case. It seems to be. I mean, I've definitely not been struggling. And there is a whole lot of code out there of game making. So the data set for making games is huge. There pretty much hasn't been a problem that the AI hasn't been able to help me with and solve. And I feel like when I have had problems, it's because I just got a little overzealous. I tried to ask it to do too much at once. All right. I do know that there is a pathfinding bug in my code, and I'm going to exploit this. I'm going to move one tile to the right, and I'm pretty confident that the two slimes that are above the one that's right next to me are stuck, and they won't be able to come to me. I think that the code is set up where they try to just go straight at me, and they don't go around. So I have that written in my notes to have a little bit of a path, like a more intelligent pathfinding for the enemies. But what was hilarious about this whole thing is I couldn't move the slime for game testing. And then I said, hey, Gemini, can you make it where the slime can move around on the board like how I move the player? And it's like, sure. And then it made the updates. And then I took my turn, and then the slime moved towards me. I was like, wait a second, what's going on? And then I took my turn, and the slime moved next to me. And then I took my turn, and the slime attacked me. I was like, the AI added AI to my game without me asking it. There was something a little eerie about about thinking about it that way. Like, I didn't tell you to make the creature autonomous. Like, I just said make it where the slime can move. I was expecting to like how I move the player, meaning I'm going to move the player, and it just made the slime. So I have barely touched anything with the AI of the slimes. This was all Gemini's decision. that Gemini made on its own. So that was crazy. All right, let's try and finish this. I doubt I'll be able to complete this wave. Let's find out. So I can select who I'm attacking. Okay, one creature gone. Okay, they spent a little bit of time moving, but now they're attacking. Yep, accidental sentience, right? Not cool. All right, if I move, let's see. I think this is going to be a mistake. I think I'm going to get hit. Oh, no. Okay, so if I move here, I think now I'll only have to deal with that one slime, only because it's a bug that I'm exploiting. Oh, I missed. Straight up missed. So irritating. Oh, and I only hit for 3 now? Man. So the tides can turn at any time. And now 1 hit point. Boy, I tell you. Okay, after I kill this last one, then, I think I can move towards, and then I can defend. All right, so we're actually using the defense. Now, attack, And I'll get to attack it again. Now, it's just will I hit for... Nope, I hit for 3. Okay, well, I'm not dead. All right. So, okay, I did level up. And what should I add to? Part of me thinks I should add to my hit points so I heal a little bit more. There's no way I'm going to beat five of these slimes. Speed? Move a little bit faster? It's like a 20% speed bump. So I'm going to do that. Let's go. Come on. Come at me. All right. Get one out of the way. Oh, what? Killing me. Stop missing. Okay, did. But I'm surrounded by 3. Okay, we're gonna run. Maybe I run. Oh, this is risky. I'm gonna run just underneath this guy here. And maybe I only have to fight him alone for a little bit. I only got 6 hit points left, so 3. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way I'm gonna survive this wave. Oh, you know what? Hold on, before this ends. Should have done this a long time ago. But it made this so much more interesting. All right, for the final wave, battle music. Right before I die. Where is it? Okay. Oh, I wish I should have made a heal button. Just a small heal. Like using a potion for like maybe 5. All right, let's see. I'm going to move up. Yeah. Battle. Swords. Fight. Go. Yeah. Oh, it missed. It missed. You're saying there's a chance. Do I move? I think I move. I really need a heal button, but it's all right. Oh, come on. It killed me. I'm at 0. All right. Okay, so, I mean, right there, I was having a little bit of fun. So that's where we're at. I want to integrate this into the main game. This is going to be an interesting challenge to try and get this to work, for sure. What about the chat? In the chat? I didn't understand that one. So let's make a new chat. Oh, okay. Right. I think that was a cultural problem there. I think I might not be internet nerdy enough yet to have known that joke. So thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna be old man Justin and go look up look that one up. So embarrassing for you to point something out that I don't get in the middle of my stream. That's okay. Oh, that's funny. All right. So my goal here is, it's a stupid meme, not mainstream. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I do have to kind of think about this for a second. I want to trigger the battle in the game, and I know that I'm going to have some conflicts, and the conflicts potentially are, you say W for win, L for lose, and F to pay respects. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, thank you for the internet cultural lesson there. I'm gonna have and I'm not being sarcastic. Like, if I'm gonna be streaming stuff like this, it's better for you to point things out to me that I need to know now, rather than when I have, like, 20 viewers and someone's doing something like, what is that? So trust me, you're helping me out here. All right, so one conflict I know I'm going to potentially have is that I already have in the main game some stats for the player in a JSON file that get created, and I have stats for the player and the creatures in a JSON file in the battle arena. I'm trying to think, like, how am I going to handle this stat management, where if I have base stats and then I also have equipped stats stacked on top, like if I have a sword or armor equipped or an item. Yeah, I got to get caught up in the nerd speak. Yeah, and I actually I'm actually really insecure about that, because I've always thought of myself as a nerd, but my peak nerdom was like 20 years ago. So I'm a little outdated with some stuff, but I can speak nerd here and there. I know a little bit of nerd. I know what OP stands for. So, but yeah, I used to be a pretty heavy gamer, but most of my gaming was when online was first coming out. Like, the first online game I ever played was Halo 2, and I was already an adult. So, yeah. I'm going to have a little chat with the AI about this issue. So I'm going to give it my entire code base. So let's go ahead and get to my root directory here. Let's do my consolidate Python script. And let's feed this to Gemini. By the way, as anything, if I can get your attention just briefly on this document. Can I make this bigger? Yeah, should be able to. Zoom in. Yeah. Also, I think I need to change my camera settings here. Let's see what are you guys seeing on your side? Okay, well, you can see it pretty well, actually. This is the guide that I give to Gemini. Do you see any, like, anything that seems silly or anything you can think of to add? So this is just what I ask it to do as best practices for coding. I stole a lot of these ideas from other people on the internet, but a lot of them seem to make enough sense to me. I'll go ahead and copy it, paste it in. So I always put it in the system instructions. And then let me get my code base, paste it in here. Hold on one second. I'm going to answer a phone call. Be right back. All right. Let's see. I think you can remove the first paragraph and just say coding rules. Oh, yeah. Follow best practices. Oh, and it's even a typo here. For coding, please follow the rules. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Why not? Coding rules. And I don't mind just making a change like that. I like to see. I've been using this exact document for so long. It'd be interesting to see if the behavior changes in any significant way. Then find the names of the programming rules, like use dry code. Oh, however, I think specific examples of code are better. Yeah, I didn't really have specific examples yet, but there are certain things that have definitely kind of what do you call it, like emerged on their own, kind of manifested in the style that Gemini has kind of stuck with. And then basically my coding examples are when I give it the code base ish, right? But I think I know what you mean, like use this line, for these kinds of things. A good keyword is don't omit anything for brevity. Okay, I have one counterpoint to that. And I don't know how good AI has gotten about this, but one thing that these synthetic neural networks tend to have in common with human brains is when you put a negative in a sentence to try and tell someone to not do something, they're much more likely to do that thing than if you had told them not to do it. It's just like a human psychology thing. And in the past, which this is maybe like 6 months ago, a year ago, that I heard that the large language models also had that problem. Now, maybe they don't have that problem anymore, but if you say don't do something, the don't gets kind of like buried in the context eventually. I agree, but that specific statement doesn't work well in the positive form, right? That's true. I mean, it could just be like, well, you know who you ask. You go ask Claude. Is there a way to express this statement without using like a negative don't and talk about it in a but do this kind of way, right? I wonder what the response would be. Yeah, don't omit anything for brevity. Could you paste that in my Discord? Oh, which part? This whole thing, this whole document? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it right now. Okay. Yeah, you should have it now. Yeah, cool. All right, so yeah, it'll be interesting. Man, hey, I have a prediction as to what you're about to do, and I want to preemptively thank you for the work that I think you're about to do on my behalf here. So I'm interested to see what idea you happen to have here. Let's get on to the planning with Gemini here on how I'm going to integrate the Fight Sandbox to the main game. I want to integrate the Fight Arena Sandbox into the main code base. Well, into the main game logic. Regarding the don't omit, if you say the opposite, then it potentially changes more about the prompt than saying don't omit. Yeah. I kind of felt like your point was valid there. No worries. I'd like to try rewriting with programming language. Ooh, okay, interesting. Let's see, so into the main game logic, hold on one second here. My concern is that I may have redundant logic in the root directory code for the main game and the Fight Arena Sandbox. For example, the player's stats are setting HP, attack, and defense in both the main game and the sandbox. I am not sure which area of the code should be initializing the player stats, and if a different area of the code should be managing the stats during gameplay. Can we brainstorm the best practices of managing the player and creatures' stats in the code with the current architecture we have been working with? If there are any other conflicts of code you can see, let me know. All right, so I find that little planning sessions with the AI go a long way. So let's see what happens here. Sorry, you didn't see what I was typing, but at least I was talking it all out. This will take a little while. I mean, just my code base is 173,000 tokens. So it's got to process all of that, and then it's got to think about everything that I gave it, and then process the prompt. So this might take a few minutes. We can watch the thinking process here. Let's see. Analyzing integration strategy, meticulously considering the integration of the Fight Arena sandbox into the story of someone. Okay. Exploring stat integration. I'm currently grappling with the redundant stat logic between the main game and the sandbox. How do I reconcile player stats and stat config? Initialization poses another challenge. Where do I instantiate and manage these stats effectively? Let's see. Defining stat management strategy. I am now determining how player stats will interface with the Fight Arena sandbox. My plan is to use player stats as a single source of truth, creating a bridge of sandbox integration. That's an interesting way to phrase that. I'll need to define how sandbox-specific stat adjustments will interact with the main game stat calculations. Refining integration approach. I've been reevaluating the integration strategy, focusing on minimizing architectural changes. My current thinking is to refactor Fight Arena Sandbox to use player stats directly, treating it as the authoritative stat source. The sandbox's stat configuration will be repurposed for combat-specific buffs and debuffs. This should simplify the data flow. Okay. All right, let's see. Is it done thinking? Oh, I'll skip to its actual output. Okay. Excellent question. So here's the actual conclusion it came to. This gets to the heart of integrating our Fight Arena sandbox into the main game. You're right to be concerned about redundant stat logic. The best practice here is to establish a single source of truth for persistent character stats and then pass a copy of those stats into the combat system when a fight begins. Okay, so it looks like they're going to import the stats from the main game into the Fight Arena sandbox. Well, I hope that the Fight Arena sandbox will still be able to function on its own, and I will ask that of the AI before we move forward. But or maybe it'll acknowledge that issue. Centralized stats in the core game. The player stats class in the story of someone .core. Here we go. I've gone down this road a little bit before, where this .core concept starts to kind of kick in, and it didn't work well last time. Will be our definitive source for the player's persistent stats. We'll also add combat stats to the NPC class, making it a source of truth for enemies. The stat config in the Fight Arena sandbox will be deprecated, as its role was for quick sandbox setup. Okay. Create transient combat entities. When a fight starts, we will create battle entity instances on the fly. These entities will be populated with the current stats from the player and NPC objects. They are temporary and only exist for the duration of the fight. Isolate combat logic. All combat calculations, damage buff, debuffs will only affect the stats on the transient battle entity objects. This keeps the main game's player stats clean and unmodified until the fight is over. Okay, that's cool. Decouple data from the visuals. We will refactor battle entity to be a pure data container. It will no longer hold a direct reference to the eye creature visual. Instead, it will have a visual type enum. The combat renderer will then use this enum to decide which visual to draw, improving our separation of concerns. Sync results post-combat. After the fight, the results, like the player's remaining HP, will be synced back from the battle entity to the persistent player object in the world state. Okay, all right. This approach ensures that data flows clear and prevents conflict. See, I'm glad I had this conversation and be like, now just integrate. Okay, it's already wanting to write code. I only have like tiny little... Okay, yeah, my commit is good. I added a PNG. And what did I add here? Okay, yeah, I just saved a Pixel project. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do a commit just so that way I don't lose those files. I don't think it touches the PNGs. I think in my git ignore, it probably has that in there, but I'll just... It's fine. Added some assets to the root. Just before integrating the Fight Arena sandbox. I don't know how much talking about what I'm about to do matters in a commit. I don't know. If I still got your attention as anything, do you think that's like silly to put in my commit comments that like this is before I did something? Oops. A little typo there. Yeah, more info is good. That's what I figured. Is better to put too much than not enough. So wait a second. It says changes not staged. Is that because I had a typo? Okay, and then yeah, the untracked files. That's what I expected. Huh? Why did it? So why? Oh, because I had a typo on there. Okay. At least I was paying attention. Okay, there we go. Okay, so first is core items player stats. I'll add current health and ensure it's managed correctly when stats are recalculated. Okay. This is probably going to be big. So core items, player stats. Okay, cool. I don't know how much talking I'll be doing during this, so at least maybe give you some music to listen to. I'll try to remember to turn it down when we're back into the actual activity again. Let's see, NPCs. Oh, this might actually not take too long if I have big enough files like this. Okay, decouple battle entity from visuals. Okay, so Fight Arena Sandbox. Still skeptical that I'm going to be able to successfully like work backwards with information. Tried doing something like this where I was pulling something out of a subdirectory into the root. No, from the other direction. From a root directory part of the code into a subdirectory, and it just did not like it. Okay, Sandbox. This is Fight Arena Sandbox version of Sandbox game. Okay, this is a big file. This might be close to the last file since it's this huge one. Okay, not the last one, but it was close. Okay, and then Fight Arena Sandbox renderer. That's not a surprise to me, and I think that would be the last one. Okay, these changes successfully unify the stat system and decouple the combat data from the combat visuals. Fight Arena Sandbox can still run independently for testing, but it's now structured to be easily integrated as a combat state in the main game. The next step would be to create that combat state class in the main project, which would instantiate and run the core logic from the Fight Arena Sandbox game when an encounter is triggered. Okay, yeah, and I didn't ask it to... Actually, I didn't ask it to write any code in the first place, but I'm not mad. Looks like, though, I have some errors here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I think it's just having a hard time reaching some classes somewhere else. So, I'm just going to do the easy way and get those error messages in that terminal. So I'm doing this in the root. Yeah, I'm not mad. Yeah, I like to say that. That's one of my catchphrases I like to say often. All right, I got these errors. Help me. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a CS project file update. It's almost always that. Like, for some reason, Gemini forgets to update this one right here. Storyofsomeone.cs project. I would bet a decent amount of cash that this is the problem. No, it's thinking. It's like I turned the music down too soon. Let's see, what do I want to listen to? How about Bad Guy Scene Somber? What is this one? Yes. So one thing that was fun using Suno to make game music is that when there was a song that I kind of liked, then I tried to make different versions of that song for different moods. Let me know if that's too loud. I feel like this is probably an okay volume. I don't plan on keeping it loud while I'm talking. And then this is a slightly different version. Alright, Gemini, what you got for me? Force the compilation. Errors are happening because we created a one-way dependency. The main game can see the sandbox projects, but the sandboxes cannot see the main game. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. This is the correct architecture to prevent circular dependencies. Yes, I'm glad we prevented circular dependencies, but how are we going to get it to actually work? The errors arose because my last implementation tried to make the Fight Arena sandbox use the player renderer from the main game, which it can't see. To fix this, and also not create circular dependencies, and move forward with our integration plan, we'll do two things. Make the sandbox self-contained for now. Sounds like a backpedal to me. We'll give the Fight Arena sandbox its own temporary copy of the player renderer and direction enum. This resolves the immediate compilation errors and allows the sandbox to run on its own. Scope the battle state enum. We'll move the battle state enum inside the sandbox game class to prevent any potential namespace conflicts during compilation. Yeah, I'm giving this a 50-50. And this is going to be possibly one of these issues that I'm like worried that the scaling problem that I was mentioning earlier could start derailing things. Where I think I'm making something that I can keep compartmentalized and then access later, but then it ends up actually needing to grab information in the other direction, and that's been a problem lately. And I think that might be an AI specific issue. So let's see here. I'm making a new file, direction.cs. Why is this called direction? It's just the up, down, left, right. Really? Like making a whole new file just for that? Oh no, this is not feeling good to me. All right, player renderer.cs, new file. Okay, that's, oops, careful, bumped my mouse. Player renderer. Okay, yeah, and now it's updating one of the CS project files. Wasn't the one I was thinking, but okay, well, there's fewer errors in my sandbox game and sandbox renderer. Okay, now here comes sandbox game. This is the big one. I have faith in you, Gemini. We're going to get through this together. You and me, mostly because of you. But I'm here. I'm here holding your hand as you drag me along. All right, this is the moment of truth. Am I going to have any red? Sandbox game still has an error. Come on, come on, come on. Run it through. Okay, well, at least there's fewer errors. What does it look like? Draw. Okay. Well, I think that's a built-in method, right? Oh, right. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Daddy GPT might be able to come in for the save. I totally, totally neglected Daddy GPT. Can like dig you out of a hole. All right, let's see. What can we do about this dot draw? Oh, look at that. So many more errors. Which file is it? The game logic service. Oh no. Oh no, look at this UI controller. Okay, please just be a CS project problem. When it's this many things, it's usually something really silly. I got more errors. Okay, real quick though, did I save everything? Did I actually press save button on all the files that I updated? I think so. Okay. Is that the right one? Yep. No boy. Yeah, my code base is definitely pushing the limits of what ChatGPT can handle in its context window. Although I have come up with some techniques where I can ignore some of the subdirectories that I know are not related to this particular problem. So in my consolidation script here, I can add building generator sandbox and dungeon generator sandbox as excluded directories. So then that significantly reduces the token count. Is there any other subdirectories that I could add to this list? I mean, I need core. Oh, I think I can remove creature sandbox as well. In fact, why don't I do that so I don't have to think about it later? Yeah, that should help. Hopefully we don't have to go there. Okay, you've hit the nail on the head. Yeah, we'll find out. The errors reveal a deeper level of functionality in your Fight Arena sandbox, specifically a leveling and stat point system that I wasn't aware of from the initial file context. Oh, don't give me that. I gave you the whole freaking thing. My previous refactoring simplified battle entity too much. Oh, this is going to be a rabbit hole. Removing properties, your UI controller, and a new file game logic services depend on. Okay, my apologies. Let's correct this by restoring missing functionality. You will be forgiven as long as this gets fixed. Restore leveling XP. Okay, this is not. I'm not feeling good about this. Now you're watching me find one of those. Let's see if I can find the limit of vibe coding. Here it comes. We might be drawing a line in the sand. Let's see are we good. How good this gets. Do I have to refactor sandbox game again? It's just getting so big. So come on. Still got an error right here. I don't even think you care about that error. You're in a completely different area. These changes restore the missing properties and logic. Resolving the compilation errors. Yeah, we'll see about that. Oh, what? That's no. No, it didn't. Made it worse. Oh, boy. Alright, this is the right file? No, it's the wrong file. That's why, because I'm not paying enough attention. It's this one. Well, it still made it worse. What am I doing here? I messed up somehow. Okay. Let's see. Wow. I mean, what did I do that this is that bad? This doesn't make sense. What's the bug? It's a swarm of locusts is what it is. I mean, so not exactly sure what level of an answer you're looking for here, but because I have a subdirectory where I can test out the battle of the game, I'm trying to access that, have the main game access that, but it's a two-way street. In previous sandboxes, I would only be pulling from the sandbox into the game. But now Gemini is like, well, since you have player stats in the main game and you want to play the game and then trigger the fight arena sandbox, how about then you pull the player stats into the sandbox, initiate the sandbox, grab the data from the sandbox, pull it back into the game. But then the sandbox is actually processing the battle. And then when the battle's over, you'll send the information back to the main game for the players' experience level points and hit points and things like that. So this is the first time that I've tried to use a subdirectory that is logically disconnected from the main game and integrated after the fact. And it was part of my plan, but it needing to transfer information between the root and the subdirectory in two directions. And it's having a difficult time doing this. At least that's how I think I am understanding this bug. And it's just snowballing. Every single thing, every single time it tries to fix is getting worse and worse. So, like, this is just horrible. So it's not finding any of this stuff. Well, ambiguity between UI controller.atbar fill. Why is all of this having a problem? I have a feeling whatever the problem is, it's like one small thing just snowballing into a bunch of problems. So it's not liking UI controller for sure. This call is ambiguous between the following method or properties: UI.UI controller. UI controller.UI controller. Yeah, that feels weird. Hold on a second. I'm going to give it that specific. This line in sandbox games.cs has the following message. So then let's see if I'm a little bit more surgical about the information I give Gemini, if I can be a little bit more helpful instead of just giving it that huge list out of the terminal. Sounds like you might be able to manage the data in a separate data storage system, which can be accessed by any parts of the game rather than passing between. They all get it from the same place. You know, Gemini kind of said something along that lines, that it was going to try and do that. I could probably go all the way back to the beginning and show what Gemini's plan was and highlight that one specific comment that it made. And let's see if you think that is basically the same thing you were just mentioning. Come on. I need to collapse that. Okay. Remember isolated combat logic. All combat calculations, damage, buff, debuffs will affect the stats on the transient battle entity objects. Decouple data from the visuals. We will refactor battle entity to be a pure data container. It will no longer hold a direct reference to the eye creature visual. Instead, it will have a visual type enum. The combat renderer will then use this enum to decide which visual to draw, improving our separation of concerns. And then sync results post-combat. After the fight, the results, like the player's remaining HP, will be synced back from the battle entity to the persistent player object in the world state. I feel like that sounds similar to what you were just kind of suggesting there. And I don't know if it is interesting enough to you. So that way I don't have to keep this on the screen. I'll go ahead and put this in the Discord. And it's not numbered as well as it was on Gemini, but okay, yeah, you think so? Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. You've encountered a classic set of issues that arise when integrating complex systems. The arrow points to two main problems. Ambiguous UI controller. Error indicates the compiler is seeing two UI controller classes. Yeah, right? With the same constructor signatures. Likely to do some project configuration issue. Okay, battle entity properties shows that the UI, that your UI controller and a file I don't have. Game logic services.cs rely on properties like level, current XP, and entity type that were removed or changed in my previous simplification. My apologies for oversimplifying. Okay. All right, I'm going to give it one more try, and then probably going to end this stream, but I won't leave everybody hanging. I will try to give an update as to what I decided to do if this doesn't fix the problem. Okay, rename UI controller to battle UI controller. Okay, which one? All right, that's cool. I see what... Okay. So I have two files named UI controller in two different directories. Gotcha. Battle UI controller. Okay. So then we got to rename the stuff in here. Okay. And then sandbox game. Okay, that was already a big improvement. Huge improvement. Okay, scroll down to this. Oh, you think I only have to update this, huh? So the renderer is going to get fixed? I'll be shocked. Come on, come on. Still got 5 errors on the renderer. Entity visual type. Battle entity does not contain a definition for entity visual type. Okay, let's see if these errors just show up. These are the only ones that show up, because this, not every time does the left window show all of the errors that possibly get created. But that was a step in the right direction. Okay. I feel safe to just dump this in. This was an improvement. I still have some errors. Okay. All right, I'm a little less scared now. My gut instinct to give it that specific error just based off of like just what I kind of know about how code tends to process errors looked like that was a good move. Like not just giving it that entire list, but giving it that specific error on that specific line, because I kind of felt like that's what everything was pointing to, or at least most. Okay, you're right. I apologize. The last set of changes to a new set of errors by not being fully consistent. All right, let's correct this definitively. Yeah, we'll see We will stick to the entity type property of the creature type. Okay, errors in the game logic particularly revealing. All right, well, it's just doing, I think it's just this one file. Oh, almost just this one file. Okay, so I'm going to copy. I'll go back up and actually read what it says because it looks like it needs me to do more than just copy and paste. The errors in game logic services.cs are because it's calling the battle entity constructor the arguments in the wrong order. I cannot edit this file for you, but I can show you exactly how to fix it. That's interesting. You can't edit it for me. I'm sorry. Why? Find the line that looks like this. Okay. All right. I'll look. Okay. Let's just do. I'll just do a Control F on that whole thing. That's hilarious. You just giving up? You getting lazy, huh? No, that line's not in here. Let's just try to find new entity. I don't even think you know what this file looks like anymore. Is this the right one? Do I have two game logic service.cs files? I don't see one here. There's definitely one in Fight Sandbox Arena, and I'm definitely getting the errors, but I am Control F around line 369. Okay. Well, yeah, I see. But it's not the same line. So it's just returning the output of this function back. But Gemini seems to think that it's saving the output of this function to another variable. Okay. Well, you're wrong about that. So is your correction even correct? I'll just do this. I'll just take this chunk. All right, this is one of those moments where knowing even just a little bit about code ends up actually mattering. But there's still errors there, so I'm not confident. All right, well, let's see if this is at least a step in the right direction. I hope I didn't do something silly like not save when I should have. Okay, everything looks saved. Okay, a little bit better. Yeah, it's still related to that function. All right, I still have a few errors. Come on. I want to get up out of this chair and take a break. You can do this, Gemini. This is one of the more difficult and like nerve-wracking things for me to try with vibe coding, is integrating a large chunk of my code base to another even bigger chunk of my code base that I was working on separately with not much context of the main code base, and now I'm kind of trying to like refactor it and repurpose it after the fact. So again, this was risky, and it's okay if I have to do this again from the beginning. I'm learning, but I was really enjoying how the battle arena worked. So let's see here. Oh, I should give it my game logic services file. I think it's kind of forgot how it looks. In fact, you know what? I'm going to start a whole... Okay, I'm going to try this fix. And then I'm going to start a whole new chat because I can definitely tell that it's forgetting. No. See, I don't like it that it's telling me to edit something that's not actually in the file. So I'm starting a new chat. I'm going to give it my entire code base again. Actually, to make it less complicated, I'm not going to include those subdirectories that are unrelated to this particular issue. So I'm going to uncomment these subdirectories. And then let me go ahead and do the consolidation. I needed to revert all changes from a recent stream because I took the wrong direction. I get the feeling. Such is code. Yes. I mean, but the back pedal is like so much quicker now. I mean, it's so much less heart-wrenching. Like my stomach doesn't sink nearly as much as it would in the past. Okay, where's my consolidated files? Does that seem like that's less? How many tokens is this guy? Okay, yeah, that is definitely smaller. All right, and then let me just give it the current errors. I got these errors. I just want to see this work once, and then I'm going to consider it a win. I want to see the game will run. I don't think I can trigger a fight yet because I didn't ask it to add that in, and it was mentioning. Hey. Okay, yeah. It was mentioning that the once we can trigger a battle. So I probably won't be able to test how it behaves with the Battle Arena sandbox, but I do want to go back in to the Fight Arena sandbox and make sure the sandbox still works. And I will consider that a win for the afternoon. What do we listen to? Castle Dark? Is that the song that's playing right now? Yeah. Okay, what you got for me? Okay, hello. I see you're running into some compilation errors. This issue is located in a single function where incorrect variable names are being used. Here are the changes to fix. Yeah. Just got to get a fresh neural network on this. Media resolution. What? Have I just never noticed this? What is media resolution? Higher resolutions may provide better understanding but use more tokens. Excuse me? What is this setting? I don't remember this being here before. Huh. It's funny how they'll just like change and add things and not really like announce it. Okay, so game logic services, right? Okay, no errors. Now, does it actually perform? Come on. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have a giggle fit if this actually works. I feel it coming. Okay, that's fine. That happens. Okay, the game is working. I don't think I can start a battle. Let's go into a dungeon and see what happens. Okay, no, stop. The exit is weirdly placed. It's okay. It's a known. Is there a way to trigger a battle? Let's see. I don't see any instructions in the terminal. Okay, like I said, I'm not gonna concern myself today. I don't know. As anything, how curious are you? Should I add the one last thing of like I can actually trigger a battle? I feel like it's a little dissatisfying to not just verify that the thing I've been trying to do can actually happen. But I'm just more concerned with that I didn't break my sandbox. Trigger bat fine. Can't disappoint the audience. Okay, that worked. Exclamation marks. I would like to be able to test the integration of the Fight Arena sandbox with the main game by being able to press a button on the keyboard when I am in a dungeon. My Fight Arena didn't even work because player sprite sheet. No, you're not supposed to add. No, stop trying to pull the visual asset. Why are you doing that? Oh, man. That was a problem I had earlier. And that's why I was avoiding that. Where are you trying to do this? Like, just use the circle and the square. I don't think this will prevent me from testing triggering in the root, because I think it's trying to do the same thing in the root version as it is in the sandbox, but the sandbox doesn't have access to the sprite sheet, but the root probably will. So I'll continue with adding in the button. Let's find the dungeon. This should change the game window to the Fight Sandbox Arena state, I guess. I don't know. We're going to see how it interprets this. Hail Mary, let's go. All right. This was a problem that I never figured out a solution to in a previous attempt at creating the Fight Sandbox Arena, other than putting the asset. I think I can put the sprite asset into the Fight Arena Sandbox subdirectory. I do have an assets folder, so we're gonna find out. Yeah, so all I have is a slime. So I need to get the player characters. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm on a different screen here. Gemini's doing its thing. So player sprite sheet. Boy, my computer is struggling. Why are you running so slow? I'm not even running my program. Gemini is supposed to be happening in the cloud. I don't understand why. Okay, still thinking. Hopefully if I just throw my a copy of my sprite sheet into the assets folder of the Arena Sandbox, it'll just work. So in theory, this is an easy fix. Okay. Oh, I don't have all those subdirectories. I only have just assets. So I need to change the path. Where is it looking? Is it looking here? Yeah. Okay. So mine is just straight up assets. Does that count? Did I just write code? I manually changed the line on my own. Did I just break my rule? Vote in the comments. Oh. Same problem. Yeah, I'll have to. This is gonna. I don't know. Wait, failed to load texture. Yeah, from there I don't have. You know what? Fine. You want to pull the asset from that folder? I'll just make that path. I'm gonna get on my nerves. You want that path? I'll create that path. Easier said than done when my computer's like running so slowly. Okay, so I made the two subdirectories in this asset / graphic / player. So now maybe it won't be so. Oh, but I probably need to revert this too. Hey, look at that. See, now why is it back to the slime being the jiggly slime? What happened to my blue square and my red circle? Because now. Oh, man. Wait, how? This is a huge step backwards in some ways. No, it's not. Okay. I don't know why it's taking so long to load the speed bar. It's supposed to only take 4 seconds. Interesting. Okay. It's like 5 steps forward and 1 step back. So, not a complete fail. Although I made some changes and now I'm also trying to fix another thing in parallel. So hopefully I'm not messing up here. Okay, so game logic. What was I even doing in the main folder? Oh, that's right. We were adding the trigger. Okay, so all right. Game logic services in the Fight Arena Sandbox. See now you're changing things in something I just got working. Oh, wait. I think I skipped a file. There it is. Man, I think I need to just restart my entire computer the way things are going here. Okay, fight context. We haven't touched that in forever. What? Oh, wait. This is a new file, but we haven't touched the game states folder in a long time, and this is in. Okay, interesting. I'm a little scared, but it'd be so awesome if I could get to the point where I could commit in some way. Oh, we're touching game.cs as well. Oh, game.cs is a very important and huge file. That is probably the final file in this update. Yep. Oh, that's a scary edit. Still got an error in fight context. Oh, it's on the last line. Okay, game state manager. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. Arkham 5 cannot convert fight arena sandbox battle state to fight arena sandbox game battle state. Okay, this is just another file naming problem. Let's see. Come on. I kind of want to know, does my fight arena sandbox still work? Okay, technically still works. Where's my config? Why is my JSON? See, it's not using the seconds for the fastest turn anymore, but it is using the stats. So, is there? I think I've lost perspective on my code. I'm gonna have to do a little code studying off stream to get back my understanding of what everything's got. So this is another one of those criticisms that I feel is very common out there for the AI worriers, not warriors. Is that like, what's going to happen if you don't understand your own code? And I'm like, well, I basically asked the AI to explain to me the code if I can't figure it out myself. And this is, the AI definitely made a lot of changes here, and I may have to get it to give me a tour of the code for certain concepts, like why is my speed bar loading so slowly when I have a setting that says seconds for the fastest turn, meaning the speed bar for getting a turn is normalized where it will take 4 seconds for the fastest opponent on the screen to get a full bar. So that way, no matter what your speed setting is at, you will always have at least 4-second rounds. And that means I can have consistent pacing. And I can even change the pacing if I want a boss battle to feel more intense and high speed. Okay, game state manager. I'm getting tired, so I'm like barely wanting to read any of the explanations anymore. Let's see, battle UI controller up here. A moderate size file. How long have I been on? How long has this stream been going so far? Where's the timer? Come here. Okay, yeah, we're approaching a 2 hour. That's pretty good. 2 hour stream is reasonable. Okay, and then sandbox game. Why do I still see something still has an error in fight arena sandbox, and it's not in any of my expanded directories. That worries me. That means I don't really know. Oh, well, it's sandbox. Oh, it's sandbox game itself is the one I have highlighted. That's why. All right. Whoa. Sandbox game just got a whole lot smaller. I lost like 100 lines. Okay. I mean, good. that's scary. What were those? What were those 100 lines that I didn't need anymore? I lost 25% of the file. Jeez. Oh, okay. Hey, whatever. Okay. Oh, wait. This is the Fight Arena sandbox. I want the main one. Come on. I don't see any errors, so I think this should compile. The question is, can I trigger? And what am I supposed to press? I wasn't. I didn't say which button I wanted to press, so it's just going to come up with whatever it wants. Okay. Spacebar, maybe it's B for battle or F for fight. Hey, it's F for fight. Well, he's kind of in the wall, but and wait a second, where's the bar? Oh, the bars are off screen. Oh, there we go. Kind of fixed it. Can I move? Can I move? Come on. Can I? Wait. Player turn, attack, defend. Where's move? And it crashes. Okay. Oh, and the slime performs move. Okay, they definitely have some major bugs, but not too bad. I mean, I think it's fixable. It at least triggers, and now I just gotta like play around with the logic. Right, exactly. You got it triggered though. I got it triggered. So, and it was kind of fun trying to hunt for what letter the AI chose for the trigger, because I didn't tell it which one. So I was like, battle, fight. Yes, it was F. Yeah. Okay. Hey, as anything, thanks for sticking around. I hope that was entertaining to watch. I think I'm gonna call it good. I'm gonna go get a little bit of exercise, and I might stream again later tonight. But otherwise, for everybody who's watching, my name's Justin. This is W for the stream. This is AI for the masses. I am working on my indie game, The Story of Someone. It is coming along, making progress. I'm having fun. I think there's a lot to be learned for both me and anybody who's watching on how to use the new vibe coding style tools. Actually, a little bit more of a context engineering if we use that new term that's throwing around. I feel like this is more advanced than just vibe coding, the critical term that people have been throwing around. But we'll see how this evolves. As anything, thanks. See you next time as well, and I'll see all of you in the next stream.